Hi guys, today I want to do an honest and very thorough review of the Morphe 35O, and the reason why is because I've had this palette for at least 7 months now, and when I first got it I had a lot of initial disappointment and it wasn't quite what I expected and I kind of bashed it and I was just overall really disappointed. But lately I've been giving it more of a chance and I've just been playing around with it, and I kind of just have some things to say about it. So let's just go ahead and jump on into the review. The simplest way that I can say this is that this palette is very beautiful. It has a beautiful color scheme and you can definitely make the shadows do what you want to do. You can make them blend. You can make beautiful looks with it, but it is by no means the best quality eyeshadow in the world. So I'm just going to go ahead and do like a pros and cons type of thing because I feel like that's the best way for me to get my thoughts out. So we're just going to start off with the cons and then we will go to the pros. One of the cons is the packaging is very cheap. It's plastic. It doesn't have a mirror. It's just like a very cheap palette type of thing. Another con would be the smell. As soon as you open it, it definitely has a very strong smell, like a cheap eyeshadow type of smell, which is not that big of a deal, especially if you've got your eyeshadow, you know, over here away from you and you're just using it. But when it is up close, then I can definitely smell like... Another huge con for me is that there are eyeshadows in this palette, for example, specifically this pink one and this copper one right here, that get talked about so much and are raved about, and they're like, these shadows are like amazing, and you see swatches and you're like, yes. But the formula of those shadows is so cheap. Like it is beautiful, and if you use a setting spray you can make it work, but it's like crumbly. It's just not the best shadow ever. So I am going to show you guys a swatch and like try my absolute hardest for you to actually be able to see the way it crumbles, and like it's not smooth. Okay, so when I swatch it with my fingers, do you see the way it picks up all crumbly like that? You see all the crumbles? Do you see all that? And you can definitely just take your finger and like blend this in and you're like, oh my god, wow, that's such an amazing eyeshadow. And it would be if it actually came off like this and it wasn't all crumbly and just like, this is not the way it swatches whatsoever. So when people swatch it like this, you know they're kind of rubbing back and forth, they're getting rid of the crumble, because that is not the way that it comes off. So there is the copper one, which isn't quite as like crumbly as the pink, but it's still pretty bad. You see all that? Like it's definitely pigmented, but it's an insane amount of crumbly, and just like you can tell from that swatch that it's not good quality. I also feel like specifically the mattes in this corner over here, a lot of these deeper, darker neutral shades are kind of like patchy and they're just not as pigmented, which like I said, you can make them work. You can make them blend out. You can go in with a lot of layers. You can continuously add product, but I do feel like they're a little splotchy and just overall not the best. So my fingers look a mess, but I swatched 3 of the eyeshadows in that like little area that I just showed you. And here is all that comes off on the skin. Like barely anything. It's really splotchy and you can just see like, ugh, like. Another huge con for me is the like Morphe just in general, their shipping. And the reason why is because even if you bought just like one palette, which like this one is I believe like $22, $23, and you only wanted that one, like the cheapest shipping is I believe like $7, and it's not even insured. So if something happens to your palette, it's basically like there's nothing you can do. So you have to go through FedEx shipping in order to get your palette insured, which is even more expensive. So it's like, even though this is an affordable palette, unless you've got a store near you that sells Morphe and you have to like go through their site, you have to buy a lot in order to make the shipping worth it, because like I wanted to try the 35P, and I was going to get it during the Black Friday sale, which I know is forever ago, and they had like 20% off extra or something like that. And I like added it into my cart, and I was like going to shipping, and the shipping was like $15 to $17, like literally doubling the price of the palette. So that is a huge con, and I think that's really sucky, especially considering how popular they are and how much you know that they're making and how much people are buying their products. You think that they would have a more affordable shipping option, even if it was just, you know, like spend $50 to get free shipping. That would be so much better. Okay, so I've been negative. Now let's go to the pros. Number one pro is obviously, look at this color scheme. Like, it is absolutely stunning. I feel like it has just enough warm shades that you can really get what you want, but it has like all these neutral shades too, so it's not like warm on warm on warm, and you can really add more dimension to your looks. I also really like that they've got like a yellow kind of setting highlight shade, a white highlight shade. They've got different shimmers. Like, it's a good variety overall. Also, this shade right here is extremely close to MAC Uninterrupted, and it's basically a dupe for it, so that's great also. And then there's like tons of transition shades in here, and they're all really beautiful, and you could get tons of great looks out of this. And if you are on a budget, you can definitely get a really professional look coming from this. Another pro that I have is that every look I do, I always end up enjoying it. My eyeshadow today is all from this palette. The crease is a combination of this shade right here, this warmer shade, and then this darker one to define a little bit more. You can see, and then underneath, like tucked into my crease, I've got like that glitter thing that everyone's doing right now, which I just wanted to try out, and that is actually this shade right here with some setting spray, and I put it over like a cream shadow base to get that little look right there. And then this is highlighting, and also it's setting concealer on my eyelid to kind of clean up the line of the glitter cut crease. I also did like a really intense smoky one last week that I really loved, and that's what's kind of changed my mind about this palette, is that I started off and I had all those cons, and all like the cheapness of the eyeshadow was what kind of just like and I kind of just like put it in the back of my makeup stash, and I was like really not giving it attention. But like lately, specifically because I've been so into neutrals, is why I like decided to pick it up again, and I've just been playing with it. And that's what kind of has changed my mind about it, is that when you actually sit down and play with it, you find that you can get the looks that you want. Like, I mean, I think that this blend is really nice. I mean, I don't think that anyone would look at my eyeshadow and think like that's cheap eyeshadow or anything like that. So you can make it look really great with the right techniques. And then my other pro is the price minus the shipping, but if you think about it, you get 35 shadows for like 20 something dollars. There's just so many different looks you can do with this, and so much variety, that I feel like you can definitely get your money's worth. It's definitely a really great palette if you're just starting out, or you're a beginner and you just need a lot of shadow to practice with and do everyday looks with. I personally think I would have appreciated this palette so much if I had gotten it like 4 years ago when I was just starting out and like learning, and I would like practice makeup like at night and stuff like that. Then this palette would have been amazing for me, especially then. But coming from someone who now has like, I don't know, like probably at least 40 eyeshadow palettes, like way more than I could ever use in my lifetime, this palette is not the best thing out there. I guess my ending thoughts for this palette would be the saying, like, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. There to be this many eyeshadows and all of them perfect and literally the best formula, the best everything for like a really great price. It is a little too good to be true. You get what you pay for. You get kind of cheaper shadows. You don't get the best quality ever. You get lots of talc. So yeah, definitely it's a little too good to be true, and you get what you pay for, is what I would end this whole review on. However, if you're really intrigued by it, I say just go for it, and if you have lower expectations, then you probably won't be disappointed, because I had such high expectations that when I got it, it was kind of like wah, 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 and it was like a little bit of a heartbreak. But if you kind of go into it knowing like it's not the best thing in the world, then it would probably be like a little bit better and easier for you. Okay, so that is everything for this review. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.